Most American voters say the problem of violent crime in America is getting worse. Let's see who, and whether or not President Biden is taking the blame. Is the problem of violent crime in America getting better or worse? 18% of U.S. likely voters say better, but more than 3 times as many, 60%, say worse. Only 21% say it's staying about the same. But more on those people later. Men, Democrats, and 18 to 39-year-olds are almost entirely where the better signal is coming from. Men say better more than women by 6%, which in the grand scheme of things isn't a huge signal, but look at age. 36% of 18 to 39-year-olds say better, and only 41%, though still a plurality, say worse. But check out that equal, about the same result. It was 21% for both men and women as well. A stable and reliable 1/5 of American voters just don't have a strong opinion on this topic. Or perhaps they think the problem is so big and ever-present that it transcends the red and blue team antics. But here are the party numbers, and that pattern doesn't hold up. Only 12% of Republicans and 10% of independents say the problem of violent crime is getting better. But just 30% of Democrats agree. Much more of them, but still a pretty low number, especially considering how they rate Biden on the issue, which you're about to see. 77% of Republicans say the problem is getting worse, as do 63% of independents, but only 40% of Democrats. But before we change slides, notice that 60% of Democrats say the problem is not getting better. Now, one last stop before the next question. How have the responses to this question changed over time? Back in October, right before the election, only 11% of Americans said the problem of violent crime was getting better, but 62% said worse. Worse is now down 2 points since then, and better is up by 7. So the spread is a pretty significant 9 points tighter. But why has it changed? Well, I'm not sure exactly, but if I had to guess, it's probably a combination of political relaxation, as well as an overall surge in approval Biden has had in the last few months, which I am hesitantly chalking up to people adjusting to him or realizing he's now in the back half of his term. Here are the change in party numbers. This question swung in Biden's favor by 14 points among Democrats, but also 11 points among Republicans. It only changed 1 point among independents, who theoretically have a lot less of an emotional stake in this political kabuki theater. But voters now rate Biden better on this issue than they did just 5 months ago. Here are his numbers today, and 41% give him an excellent or good rating, and 42% give him a poor rating. This is pretty close to his average on all issues, and at this point, except for the economy or legal immigration, I think his numbers are just moving along with his job approval rating. 21% of Republicans give him an excellent or good, which sounds high, but keep in mind it's right there exactly the same as his GOP approval rating. But independents give him only a 32% combined excellent or good, about 10 points less than his current approval rating among independents. I think you can trust these guys for the most objective take on how Biden is performing on a certain issue. But look at Democrats. 66% give him a combined excellent or good, even though, as we pointed out earlier, 60% of Democrats say the problem of violent crime is not getting better. Clearly, they just think this issue is either outside of his scope of work or perhaps his sphere of influence. Or maybe they like more lax treatment of crime and are applauding him for it. Recall from our video a few weeks ago on bail reform, a plurality of Democrats, and only Democrats, think we're sending too many criminals to prison. How has Biden's rating on crime changed since October? It's up about 4 points for combined excellent and good, and poor is down 6 points, so significantly better. The change is driven a few points by Democrats and independents, but his biggest pickup was actually with Republicans. So again, this reflects changes we've seen on his ratings on most issues and is probably coming from the relief of a split Congress and the fact that Biden now has less than half of his term ahead of him. Thanks for watching up till now. If you spotted something I missed, please drop a comment and make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter. We have incredible new Trump versus Biden numbers coming tomorrow, and you're going to want to see them as soon as they drop. Thanks for watching.